Welcome to Realty Talk, where we talk real about real estate. My name is Frank Rodriguez, and our goal is to bring you transparent and useful information relating to real estate. Welcome back. I'm excited about today's topics. It's going to be technical, so I'm going to ask you to put on your mental track shoes because I know you're here to learn and not to be entertained. Though I'll make it as interesting as possible. Though before we start, I do have to legally and ethically remind you that I'm not an attorney nor tax person, and anything we discuss today is for information purposes only. And before taking action on anything that you hear, make sure you seek out that legal or tax advice. Okay. Now that said, let's set up today's video. There's three things that I like to explore with you. And the first is the difference of having a trust or not. Two is the step-up basis relating to the capital gains when inheriting property. And three is Prop 19, the property taxes that are paid on an annual basis when you inherit property. Okay, so to start, let's go with number one, which is the difference between having a trust or not. Okay, on this one here, having a trust is where you do a lot of the upfront work as the person that's planning your succession. You can be more organized, you can be more detailed as to how you want your estate to be managed by a successor trustee. And the best part is that it avoids probate. Now, for the individuals inheriting or carrying on your succession, they don't have to be dragged through a probate, which can take over a year in today's climate here in LA County with the court systems. And on a trust, they'll have access almost immediately to wherever your wishes are. Whereas with the probate, again, it can take over a year. Now, one thing I would like to clear up here is a trust, what it's not is protection. There's certain individuals that believe if they have a trust, they're protected from liability when there's multiple properties. No, it doesn't do that. The true benefit of a trust is to avoid the probate and make it a cleaner, more organized succession. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, number two is what is step-up basis and how it affects the heirs when relating to capital gains. Okay, this one is going to require a few more numbers, so bear with me. If you currently have a property, and let's suppose you bought it in 1995, and your purchase price was $150,000. Okay, that's the starting point of or your current existing cost basis. And if you added someone as a joint tenant, as I mentioned in a previous video, to avoid probate or not have to create a trust, then they're adopting that cost basis. So when that property is sold in the future after your passing by your heirs, the difference between that 150 cost basis to whatever the property is sold, let's say 1 million, that difference of 850,000 can be the amount that's going to be taxable for capital gains, which is significant. Now, in a trust or in a probate, your heirs, when they receive the property, a step-up basis is that from that 150,000, it steps up the value to whatever the property is worth at the time of your passing. So if it's $1 million and your heirs sell the property for $1 million, there's no capital gains because there's no difference. Okay, so it's very important to know this so you can plan accordingly. Now, going back to step one, on the trust, creating a trust will require more upfront costs. Speaking to a good estate planning attorney and making sure it's fully funded. And once that's taken care of, then the step-up basis, whenever you do transfer the properties to your beneficiaries or they sell the properties, they'll benefit from that step-up basis. Or if you decide not to create a trust and allow your heirs to go through a probate, even once the distribution takes place through the probate court, they'll also benefit from the step-up basis, which minimizes the capital gains, which will be a good thing, right? Okay, let's look at number 3 here, Prop 19. And this is relatively new here in the state of California. As far as I'm aware, it's only in California. I'm not sure of other states. It was one that was voted in back in 2021. And pretty much what this is any properties inherited, single family, multi-unit properties, residential investments, it can be reassessed at the time of the transfer. So let's connect the step-up basis is relating to capital gains, a one-time tax, right? So receiving a step-up basis minimizes capital gains. Though on step 3 here, or item number 3, Prop 19, it's a recurring property tax payment that's done every year. So if one of the heirs decides to keep a property and not sell the property either through the trust or through the probate, soon as they receive title to the property, Prop 19 kicks in, meaning that the document goes to the county recorders. From there, it goes to the county assessors, and the property will be reassessed. Now, there are certain things the heirs can do where the reassessment is somewhat limited. It's not completely exempt, and limited by the numbers, meaning if one of the direct children, one of the direct heirs, not niece, not nephews, but direct descendant, moves in within 1 year as a principal residence, then there's some paperwork that can be submitted to be exempt up to 1 million from the current assessed value. Okay, up to 1 million. Okay, and this will usually keep the property tax amount relatively low. Now, if it's units, meaning residential income property, in most cases that property will be reassessed to its full value at time of death. Meaning if the current assessed value, going back to our example, is roughly on 150, 200,000 range, and now the heirs decide to keep that residential income property. Now that property is worth, let's say, 1.5 million. It's going to go from the current property tax on that assessed value of 150,000 up to the 1.5 million. It's a significant jump on the property taxes. So Prop 19 helps when someone moves into the property as their principal residence, a direct descendant, by capping or getting an exception, I should say, up to that 1 million. Though when it comes to investment property, there's really no way to exempt if someone decides to keep that property. And usually what tends to happen, and we've done these numbers over and over with different heirs, because our goal is to keep properties within the family if possible. Though in most cases they may have to sell, because the rents haven't kept up with what the reassessment is going to be. So Prop 19 could be a double-edged sword. There's a benefit, but there's also a negative cost to it. All right. So again, a lot of technicalities in today's video. I don't expect you to have captured everything. Again, this is more bringing awareness and understanding that there are some repercussions in any of these 3 steps, however you choose to take them, or if you're a future heir beneficiary, it's good to start looking into this and helping your parents or grandparents plan accordingly, because eventually, the property will transfer title, right? In most cases, either through a probate or trust. So, having those serious yet delicate conversations, understanding the process, and better guiding with a great estate planning attorney, speaking to a specialist in real estate that deals with probate and trust, or a tax person, really taking the time to understanding all the aspects of it so you can plan accordingly. What you don't want to do is when the day comes, which is going to come for all of us, you're blindsided. You're blindsided by so many aspects. And it wouldn't be fair to you as the person leaving your legacy, as well as those that are receiving your legacy. So take the time, plan, because remember, ignorance in today's environment with so much information, with videos like this, is no longer an excuse. You either you're apathetic to doing something about it, or you're actually going to do something about it. And here at Casa Bella Realty Group in Southern California, we don't mind sitting down with you, speaking to some of our affiliate attorneys, and better assisting you in that planning process. Now, if you're not in Southern California, again, seek out someone that's truly going to help you when needed. All right. Again, thank you for watching this video. I know a lot was said, and maybe we'll break it up even a bit more if we get enough comments of which one of these three topics you would like for me to expand on, and maybe even bring in a guest to expand on it along with me. All right. So the more comments of what is important to you, the better job we can do in delivering the necessary information. All right. Thank you for watching.